Hello, do you remember the fire in 2019 that affected Notre-Dame? Well, today let's talk about that fire, and also Notre-Dame's history and where it is now. But first, a couple facts. Notre-Dame is translated into meaning Our Lady. It was also built on an island called the Isle de la Cité. Notre-Dame's construction started in 1163, but did not end until 1345, which is about 107 years later. Architectural style of Notre-Dame is the medieval Gothic style, and it's always had a bout of violence and restoration in Notre-Dame's history. Another interesting fact is, do you remember the book or the movie The Hunchback of Notre Dame? Well, it was actually written for not entertainment purposes, but educational purposes. Now let's talk about some history of Notre Dame. In 1239, before it was finished with its construction, it received its first relic, which was the thorns worn by Christ during his crucifixion. In 1789 was the French Revolution, which caused damage to the Notre Dame's building, which included a fire and statues being decapitated. This event is what caused Victor Hugo in 1831 to write The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It was to shine light on damages done in the past. In 1844, due to the book, was the first restoration done on Notre Dame. This was also the restoration that caused the new spire to put on the ceiling or the roof, which is what burned down in 2019. In 1991, Notre Dame was finally recognized by the UNESCO Heritage Site, and was such a big accomplishment for the cathedral. In 2019 was the year of celebrating Notre Dame's 850th year, but it was also the year where the fire happened. So let's now talk about that fire. On April 15, 2019, Notre Dame caught fire. This fire lasted many hours and caused a lot of damage to the ceiling and spire. It actually caused the ceiling to collapse at some point. The fire was thought to be caused by simply a renovation complication. It was nothing threatening, it just occurred. Sadly, at this time, there's not big enough trees to fix the ceiling, but at time we will figure out a way to fix that slight issue. Happily, though, all the relics were saved during the fire due to the firefighters' hard working on preventing it from falling into the very middle of the cathedral. Now let's see where Notre Dame is. As we all know, the coronavirus pandemic has stopped most things, which included the restoration on the cathedral. So at this time, there has not been much done to fix it. But during this time, we have collected over $700 million in donations to fix it. So in time, Notre Dame will be brought back to its original beauty. Let's now end on some happy facts. The spire that was used or built in 1844 that burned in 2019 was used to prevent pestilence. We found this by examining the remains of it, which held teeth, bone, and hair of two saints. This was to protect the world from plagues and other things such as that. The two big known relics that were saved in the fire were the thorns worn by Christ and the tunic of Saint Louis. Those facts are happily taken care of at this time and are not in any harm's way. Now, as I said before, the novel The Hunchback of Notre Dame was written to teach people rather than entertain people. So remember, although damages may be done on Notre Dame, it will always be restored and it will always be brought to its original beauty. Thank you.